YouTube. It's Christine with Souls Rising, jumping on with some oracle messages. This video is for the sign of Pisces. If you have Pisces sun, moon, or rising sign, stick around for your messages. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It may apply slightly differently to your situation versus some of the other folks watching. So apply it how it resonates and makes the most sense to you. If you want a personal or private reading, I do offer those, and you will find all the information on how to book one on my website, which I will have linked in the description box below. Also, information on all of the decks that I will be using in this reading will be there as well. All right, Pisces, let me show you the cards that we have coming out for you guys. The first one is Helios Cycles. So this has to do with that trip around the sun, a year, maybe a significant time frame for some of you. So for some of you, you may have been really working hard on something for the past year. But for others of you, this just is talking about cycles closing out and moving on. I heard when I saw this card, moving on, moving forward. And we have that followed by Yule, and that is also the card of hope. And Yule, of course, ties in with Christmas holiday time. So that could be a time that is significant for some of my folks here. You may be getting ready to wrap something up around December, around the holiday season, or a cycle may be coming to a close. That won't be for everybody, but for some. Especially if you've been asking like timing wise, like when. I also get really strong father time vibes with this. I do feel like whatever the cycle is it's closing out, there is something really powerful around time or timing with you, where there's a sense of like maybe something has taken a really long time. So this may be a really old cycle that is closing out. And I'm even hearing for some folks, like this guy's giving me ancestral vibes. And so I'm feeling like some of you actually just closed out or are in the midst of closing out a very old ancestral cycle. So ancestral cycles are things that patterns in families that are passed down after generation after generation after generation, and they can last for hundreds of years in families before someone finally breaks free. So some of you have recently broken free or are about to break free from something that has haunted you or your family lineage for a very, very long time. Okay. And then I have reflection, and this is taking a little time to like reflect on that, to really look at how far you have come. I also feel like this card, you know, she's looking at the rainbow. So her sword is behind her. She's been broken free, cut herself free from something that maybe has followed her, a past that has been troubling her for a cycle that needed to be broken. But she's looking towards the future. She's actually reflecting on this beautiful rainbow energy, all this loving, good light that is coming into her life. So I feel like for a lot of my Pisces, you're just wrapping up something that was really challenging and you're ready to move forward to something much better here. And you may be being asked to take a little pause right now to just breathe and reflect on how far you have come and on where you are going to go next, okay, before you rush into anything. And then the next cards underneath, I get insight. This could talk about going within, going inward, but I also feel like you guys have already done this. I feel like you have already seen the light of truth of something, or you already understand something in a new way. And I feel like that's why you're moving on, because you were able to see the light. You were able to see and understand this cycle and why it was repeating, or to finally have that aha moment where it hit you why this keeps happening to you, or why this thing continues to repeat in your life. And ultimately, this is bringing in, you know, a lot of gratitude in that you guys can now open up to the sweetness of life more. And so it's like, I also feel like some of you are literally like praising God. I keep hearing, thank you, God, for like showing this to me, or for helping me to break free from this. So some of you are actually just like in awe and gratitude of yourselves that you finally got through this, or something has finally come to an end in your life. And maybe it felt like something that just was never going to end. Again, like I was saying, I got those like father time vibes with this. So maybe you carried something for a long time and it's been hard. Okay, but I feel like you guys are doing it now. You guys have really a lot to be grateful for. And the next card is Illumination, and I love this card. You know, we had cycles with the Chariot, and now we have Illumination with the Chariot. And both of these are somebody riding the Chariot with the 2 horses, but in the Illumination one, it's like, this is like, the sun looks like it's setting, like colors are a little more dull. In this one, they're bright and bold and really jumping out at you. And this person is excited. This guy is like pointing ahead to where he's going. It's moving on, it's moving forward. But with Illumination and with insight showing up here, it's like moving into the light, moving into something brighter and better. But also, I feel like you're doing it from a sense of boldness, of really confidence and feeling bold and feeling blessed and ready to go. So let's jump into the tarot. I want to get a little bit more detail or a little more depth to this for my Pisces out there. What is going on with this cycle that is closing out? Also, I didn't mention this, but some of you, again, I was getting that father time vibe, but some of you, this may actually be father energy. So maybe there's something about the males in the lineage or fathers in the lineage or a father figure who was very powerful or important in your life or history that this is relating to. And for some of you, if you're not breaking free from something negative, you know, maybe this is just looking back at a cycle closing out around a father figure, okay? You know, or someone who was a father figure and was an important or played a really powerful role in your life for a long time. This definitely feels like a powerful, strong figure, okay? Doesn't have to be negative though. And so maybe some of you are closing out. Maybe this person passed away recently or moved on, you know, in some way. And you are sort of reflecting upon that ending, okay? But ultimately, we're coming into a space, you know, maybe you're looking back with gratitude at that you know, at the life that you shared with that person. But now you're ready and you're moving on to a new beginning, okay? Just sort of that was hitting me as I was getting ready to move on. So for some of my Pisces out there, that may apply more to you than the first interpretation. So let's jump into the tarot. What do we have for the tarot? Also, you guys, so these things might not be mutually exclusive. As I'm pulling the tarot cards, realizing for some of you, both interpretations might apply. So maybe a few of my Pisces out there watching this, there may be a father figure playing a very significant role in this, but, and maybe that person actually did pass recently, but maybe that passing has been what is ending a negative cycle or helping you break free from something or bringing some illumination with it. You know, sometimes we don't feel fully free from, you know, a negative or abusive parent figure until they're actually gone from the planet. Sometimes people don't feel safe, like that person can't hurt them anymore until they literally aren't here anymore. And sometimes people just don't feel like they can fully breathe or fully speak the truth until that happens. So for some people watching this, both interpretations may actually apply. Just as I'm pulling the tarot, that's kind of making sense to me. All right, this feels complete. I will pull more for clarity as we go, but this is very succinct for my Pisces. I've got 3 of Swords, pain, heartbreak. This can be a passing, you know, a death or a passing, an ending of some kind. But then we have 6 of Wands following it, which is victory, overcoming. So overcoming the pain, overcoming a trauma, overcoming the loss, victory over the loss. For some of you, this could be recovery from loss. If you resonated more with having lost a really important and positive fatherly figure, this can actually be showing you that you're going to be okay, that you're going to recover from that. And then we have the 3 of Cups, celebration. There's a reason for you to celebrate, and maybe it's that you're looking back and celebrating this person's life. But for those of you for whom you're closing out, which I think is the majority of my Pisces watching this, you're actually closing out something really negative or hard or difficult for you. It's like you're overcoming that thing, and this is a celebration of you. This is a celebration of your accomplishment. And Spirit wants you to celebrate your accomplishments. They want you to look at how hard you had to work to get over this thing, to overcome this very painful experience, and to heal. to get to a better place, okay? And then we have underneath, we have the Two of Wands, which is plans, making plans, moving forward. So again, that moving forward energy coming in here. And some of you are maybe now looking to the future and starting to decide, what do I want to build here? What do I want to create next for myself? Because when we close out a really big cycle, sometimes we need a little time to breathe and kind of plan out what's next. We don't always know right away what's next. And we can kind of feel in our soul that ending, and it can almost feel sometimes like all the loose ends in our life tie up at one time. And so sometimes we have to really stop and reflect and think about, what is next for me? What do I want? Some of you may even be still reflecting on, see, you know, I am being pulled, we've got the two ones are actually kind of behind him and he's looking out here. Some of you might still be reflecting actually on what happened. You aren't quite ready to move forward with the new plans yet. Because we also have the Death card showing up here. Okay, so you may be sort of still processing what happened and what you learned from it with the Hierophant. Okay, and also again, this can be physical passing and Hierophant can be father energy. So some of you may be sort of figuring out where to go next after losing, you know, an important father figure. Some of you, this is more sort of reflecting on the ending of this cycle and your successful completion, mastery, learning something that you needed for your own soul's growth and progression. Ultimately, though, regardless of the circumstances, because it may vary from person to person watching this, the end message is very positive. It's one of celebration. It's one of overcoming the odds and of beating the darkness, of really seeing the light and moving into a new beginning in a space where there's actually a lot more brightness, healing, and recovery happening. And then we have underneath all of that, the World. Cycle completion, again, cycle completion. So this tarot reading is really sort of driving home the message you're getting with the oracle cards, again, with this successful closing out of a cycle. It could be, you know, if you're grieving the loss of a positive father figure, this could also indicate a life well lived. You know, that this person, you maybe are celebrating a life that was well lived. And maybe this person inspired you and you're taking the lessons that that person taught you and you're applying them to your life, and you're going to live your life to the fullest for them as you move forward. For those of you that are closing out a more negative cycle and had to work really hard to overcome some painful cycle that you're closing out, this means you're doing it. You're doing a good job. You did a good job and you get to move on from the lesson. The lesson is over. And now we get to make new plans. We get to move forward. And this is going to be something worth celebrating. There is victory, overcoming loss, overcoming the odds with this. I really do get, for some of my Pisces, you guys really may have felt like the odds were stacked against you with whatever the situation was. Really felt like you would never get there. Again, I definitely have a sense of time, of this being very old, of feeling like this was something that was with you for a long, long time. And it may have almost felt like it was a part of you, or like your pain may have almost felt like it had become a part of who you were. It's your core identity. Maybe your identity almost formed around your pain or your trauma. And you had to overcome that. You had to really cut yourself free from this in order to move on. But you are doing it, or you have done it, Pisces, because this is a lot of celebratory energy here coming in. Can I get a couple more cards, Spirit, for my Pisces? What else does Pisces need to know or understand here? Also, there is, just real quick, Spirit is pulling me to the bottom of this card. I actually think this is supposed to be a V because this is the 5th card in the deck, but I am actually seeing the letter D. So a D name may be significant here for some of you, and the name Dave is actually coming in very specifically. So this may be some confirmation validation for somebody watching this, but all of a sudden that was really, I was being pulled to it. So maybe for somebody in particular. If it's you, comment below so I know. Wow. Yeah, strong father vibes. I'm getting father again. We have the Emperor showing up here. Justice. The Devil. For most of you, I feel like this was a negative father figure that is popping in, or whose lineage perhaps was carrying some heaviness or trauma or negative patterns. because we have the devil coming out. I asked what else Pisces needs to know. We have the devil coming out with the emperor, who is traditionally the father figure in the tarot. The emperor, an alternative meaning for the emperor, is also just like something that was built that wasn't good, or something over time that was growing a legacy that was negative. Okay, so again, hinting once again at that ancestral pain that can sort of pass itself down from generation to generation. And then we have King of Cups. Now, King of Cups isn't necessarily a negative card. It's a masculine card. It can be a man in the negative who is very emotional or unbalanced with emotions. So it could be very angry, argumentative, hard to get along with. But it can also be a man who's very loving or very open with his heart and passionate. It can also just be a male water sign. And then we have Justice. I do feel like these are the same man for some reason for a lot of you. This could also be, so sometimes I get King of Cups when there's alcoholism. So maybe for some of you, and I was kind of picking that up a little bit with the Oracle cards too, maybe for some of you, there was a really long and strong family history of alcoholism that has had to be overcome, or that you have been healing from, that you were harmed by, or that you had to carry as part of this lineage, and you are overcoming it. And there is justice coming out here for, you know, wrongs being righted, things being put right, things coming back. Maybe somebody got a fair and just end here, or you feel like this ending was just and fair, that this person got what they deserved in the end, and maybe that's true. For others of you, an alternative, maybe for some of you, maybe you had this really difficult, you know, father energy in the line that was maybe angry or controlling, negative, difficult, and you overcame it by being in your heart, mastering the emotions involved and really coming into your heart. And this could be true whether you are masculine or feminine watching this video, but this could actually be you coming into a space of healing, bringing things back into balance. Okay. I get like 2 more cards for Pisces, please. Whoa, you guys got way more than 2. I was gonna say this was feeling like a short read. Otherwise, okay. I feel like some of you felt like you couldn't win for trying for a long time with whatever this was. Okay, there's 2 of Swords, which is sort of it's not necessarily stuck energy, but it's not moving. It's like a stillness, and it can be feeling like damned if I do, damned if I don't, or no matter which direction I go, I don't feel like I can get out of this. Or so we get stuck in a crossroads energy where we just don't know what to do next. But then it's followed by Knight of Swords, which is moving on. So cutting through and finally moving forward, which is really consistent with the Chariot cards that we had coming in with the Oracle of moving on, finally movement happening, where we were sort of feeling stale, stuck, stagnant for a long time with some situation. And again, stale, stuck, stagnant being echoed with this Nine of Wands, which is sort of stuck and maybe almost wanting to give up, almost feeling like, oh my God, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to get there. This is never going to pan out for me. Things are never going to work out the way that I want them to. Maybe some of you actually had to really resist going into this negative energy or repeating this cycle that was negative, and you had to work really hard at it, and it really wore on you. Okay. But you were determined to break free. You were determined to break through it, and ultimately feel that you did. And I think that the next 2 cards are really both you, Pisces. We have the King of Wands and we have the King of Swords. And these are both really powerful energies, positive masculine energies coming in here. The King of Wands is a very passionate person, not afraid to go after their dreams, go after what they want, very grounded energy, and just a very strong and passionate person. And then we have, it also could be a male fire sign. And then we also have the King of Swords here, who I get, this is really finding your strength, finding clarity, finding your own truth, making your own truth, making your own way. You know, King of Wands is a very innovative energy. So some of you may have actually had to create your own pathway for your lineage or for your family, for yourself and your own life, maybe your own children or children's children. and you had to really be strong inside of yourself to overcome this. You know, even if you're a feminine, you know, the kings sometimes will come out as mastery because they're the top of the tarot in the ordering of the tarot. Not that masculine is better than feminine. They're really just different. But sometimes the masculine version of the card will come out just to show mastery for me in how I do my readings. So you may have had to really master these energies in order to move forward and to end this cycle. But the King of Swords is a very decisive figure. He really puts things down. He really puts a clear ending to the situation. He carries this sword of truth, having seen through something that maybe was not what it should have been. Okay. I also keep getting this thing about having to get your passions under control. So someone may have actually had to get their own passionate energy under control, or their own fiery, angry energy under control in order to do this, in order to break this cycle or break free and to get justice, or to finally put a positive end to something that maybe was a really long and difficult, drawn out cycle or situation. But ultimately, you guys are now standing in this beautiful positive energy. The future is very bright that you are heading into. You've cut away what needed to be cut away, and you're getting a little bit of a break. I feel like right now you're getting a little breather. You're about to get a breather if you're kind of on the tail end of this, and then moving forward into something so much more beautiful, so much better. And I'm here taking others with you. You're not going alone. It's like you're carrying this positive energy into the future for yourself and your family, and for the lineage as well. You know, when we clear ancestral wounds and patterns, we not only clear it out for our own children to come and their children, but we actually clear it backwards as well. So we clear it for the whole line, for the whole lineage. We help heal everyone. We heal and help heal the karma and resolve it for the lineage. And a lot of times that's actually why souls come in and incarnate in a specific lineages, because the struggles of that lineage connect strongly with the lesson that that soul wants to learn. And so they opt to come in and volunteer that in their own lesson and healing and growth that their soul is going to experience as a part of that family lineage, that they're also going to break the lineage free, okay? So that when they overcome it for everyone. It takes a really strong and courageous soul to do that. So you guys should really be proud right now, you know, as you're reflecting, like really give yourself a pat on the back for how far you have had to come into a better space, or to come into better. And if you are the one who is grieving the positive father figure that perhaps you recently lost or had to move on from, know that ultimately the rainbows are coming back, that there are good times again coming in for you in the future. There is healing here after loss, and that you are moving into something better ahead. You will not always be carrying this heaviness and this grief in your heart, that things are ultimately going to improve and taking you into something better, even if it has felt like it would never get there. All right, Pisces, these are your messages. Take care. I will be back in a few weeks. Bye.